Ladies and gentlemen, please be seated as we will start now. Good morning, guten morgen, and selamat pagi to Dr. Eva Langebach, Executive Director and Interim of the Malaysian German Chamber of Commerce and Industry MGCC. Yang berbahagia Dato' Sri Azhar bin Abdul Manaf, Director General of the Majlis Amanah Rakyat MARA. Yang berbahagia Dato' Muhammad Faisal Haji Hassan, Honorary Member of MGCC and GMI Board of Director. Mr. Ahmad Solihin Muhammad Yusof, Chief Executive Officer of the German Malaysian Institute. MARA Council members and top management, members of the Industry Advisory Council, respected industry partners, members of the media, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the inaugural Industry Advisory Council Summit 2024. It is a convergence of brilliant minds, innovative thinkers, and industry leaders. And today, we embark on discussion centered around the theme, Malaysian Landscape Towards Professional TVET. I'm Akmal Hafiz Ruslan, your host for this remarkable summit. Before we begin our event, I would like to call upon Mr. Muhammad Nizam Ahmad, Secretariat of the National TVET Council, to recite a prayer. Please welcome.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته. استغفر الله العظيم استغفر الله العظيم الذي لا إله إلا هو الحي القيوم وأتوب إليك ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين حمدا يوافي نعمه ويكافئ مزيده. يا ربنا لك الحمد كما ينبغي لجلال وجهك الكريم وعظيم سلطانك. اللهم صل وسلم على سيدنا محمد صلاة تنجينا بها من جميع الأحوال وآفات وتقضي لنا بها جميع الحاجات وتطهرنا بها من جميع السيئات وترفعنا بها عندك أعلى الدرجات وتبلغنا بها أصل الغايات من جميع الخيرات في الحياة وعبد الممات وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم تسليما كثيرا برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. Ya Allah, in your name, the most compassionate and merciful, we pray for your blessings upon the Industrial Advisory Committee Summit, IAC, here at the German Malaysian Institute this morning. Ya Allah, facilitate the proceedings of this event from beginning to the end. Bless and bestow wisdom upon our leaders and all participants in making this event successful. Grant us the intelligence of thought, beneficial knowledge, and physical and spiritual well-being so that we can contribute to the Malaysian TV landscape. We hope that today's sessions will assist in bridging the gap between industry needs in the existing local academic curriculum. Hence, we can manage TVET affairs in our country with excellence and prosperity. Ya Allah, Shahid al-Haq, grant us strength, inspirations, and high spirit of togetherness in our efforts to empower TVET for the brilliance of our society's future and our young generations. With hope and trust, we entrust all matters to you. May, with your abundant grace, the German Malaysian Institute will continue to remain as one of the prestigious institutes in our beloved country. Ya Allah al-Sami al-Wali, Allahumma inna nastahfidhuka wa nastawdi'uka diyanana wa anfusana wa amwalana wa ahlana wa kulla shay'in a'taytana. Allahumma ja'alna fi kanafika wa iyadika wa jawarika wa amanika min sharri kulli shaitanin marid wa jabbarin anidi wa dhi'ani wa dhibagh wa min sharri kulli dhi shar innaka ala kulli shay'in qadir. اللهم أحطنا بالتقوى والاستقامة وعدنا من موجبات الندامة في الحال والمال إنك سميع الدعاء. اللهم عافنا من كل بلاء الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة. اللهم عافنا من كل بلاء الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة. اللهم عافنا من كل بلاء الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة. واصرف عنا شر الدنيا وعذاب الآخرة برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين. وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون والسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين. تقبل الله منكم.
Inna minkum taqabbal ya karim, amin, amin, ya rabbal alamin. Thank you, Mr. Nizam. All right, ladies and gentlemen, today we embark on a journey of knowledge exchange, collaborations, and inspiration. And our agenda is packed with insightful sessions, engaging discussion, and networking opportunities. We are honored to have with us a distinguished group of individuals who will share their expertise and perspective on the Malaysian and global views on the technical, vocational education and training, also known as TVET. Their insights are sure to spark meaningful conversation and pave the way for future advancement in our respective fields. On behalf of the organizing committee, I extend our heartfelt gratitude to Majlis Amanah Rakyat MARA for their invaluable collaboration as our co-organizer and extend our sincere appreciation to our esteemed co-partners, University Kuala Lumpur, UniKL, Giat MARA, and MARA lainnya. We also wish to express our thanks to all those who have contributed to making today's summit a resounding success. Ladies and gentlemen, to start off this event, we will engage in a dialogue session with prominent figures in the TVET industry, including representatives from both industry and academia. With their extensive experience, years of expertise, and captivating stories, these individuals are sure to captivate your interest in on ongoing discussion. For the Q&A session, I would like to remind you that you have the option to download the Slido application or scan the QR code presented on screen if you have any question to pose to our panelists. Without further ado, as can you see here, the QR code, you can now scan and pose the question to our panelists. All right, ladies and gentlemen, without further ado, I would like to introduce you to our dialogue speakers for today's session team, Malaysian Landscape Towards Professional TVET. They are Mr. Klaus Landhauser, Managing Director of Bosch Malaysia, Mr. Nazrul Aziz, Group Chief Strategy Officer of Talent Corporation Malaysia Berhad, Talent Corp, Mr. Solihin Yusof, CEO of German Malaysian Institute, along with their moderator, Ms. Michelle Abu Bakar, Head of German Dual Vocational Training Department, Malaysian German Chamber of Commerce and Industry, MGCC. Thus, with a round of applause, please welcome our distinguished guests to the stage. Ladies and gentlemen, they are ready now, and the floor is yours, Miss Michelle.
Thank you very much. Thank you. A very good morning to everyone, and thank you all for being here. Also to my dear panelists, thank you for joining us. Before we begin, I would like to remind everyone that please feel free to post any questions that you have or that may come up throughout this session, either through Slido or through the QR code displayed in front. Today we will be talking about the Malaysian landscape towards professional, technical, and vocational education and training, also known as TVET. Each of our panelists brings a unique perspective that aims to promote innovation, address skills gaps, improve relevance and quality of TVET programs, whilst providing beneficial input for the TVET blueprint here today. The main role of the TVET Council is to front the 12 ministries on TVET collaboration and development aspects. It is also to conduct engagement with academia to ensure that a desired skilled workforce is developed and to meet world standards and expectations of the industry. Mr. Nazrul, starting off with the session, when we delve into the field of TVET in Malaysia, what are the challenges faced by this system, and how does the TVET Council and Talent Corp contribute to improving TVET towards professionalism and effectiveness?
Thanks, Michelle. Thanks for having us, Talent Corp, here. I mean, in front of me, you are all the TVET experts or TVET specialists. You are very much in the field. And I believe that the challenges that I'm going to share with you is a known challenges that we have discussed for the past tens of years. There are, I would say that 5 key challenges, of course, Michelle. The first one is on on the governance of TVET in Malaysia, uncoordinated governance. TVET cuts across 12 ministries. We have 1,344 institutions across. So that's a challenge for the ecosystem actually to work coherently. Second is related to number one. Second one is fragmented delivery, means that you have difference of delivery quality between institutions. Okay, institutions should be given certain level of freedom actually to, or autonomy actually to decide how they want to deliver it. But we must ensure that the quality of our TVET graduates, when they have graduated from these institutions, are standards across, so that you manage the expectation from the industry. So regardless of where the graduates come from, the institution that the graduates come from is standards, so they can meet the demand of the industry. So the third challenge is, of course, it's related to budget, keeping up with the pace of the technology and change. The equipments, for example, the machineries in the TVET institution, it's not easy actually to keep up with the pace, especially we have limited budget. So there must be a cohesive or coordinated industry-academia collaboration actually to look into this. Fourth, related to the previous challenge is actually the gap of our trainers, instructors. It's very much related to the keeping up with the pace of the technology, the machines, everything. So even the skill set of our instructors actually need to be up to the level of the pace or the change of the industry. And this is interrelated. And finally, of course, the societal perception towards TVET. It is still regarded as a second option by our society. Whereas if you look at a country like Germany, it is already regarded as a choice, the primary choice for the graduates. So in our context, I think we still have that societal perception that if you can't do well in your education, you go to TVET. So because of that perception, that create, I would say that a negative perception towards TVET, because it is seen less as an inferior pathway to the academic route. So what the government has done so far to address these challenges, one good thing that they have established National TVET Council. And the reason why we are here is also because of TVET Council, so or MTVET. So MTVET is supposed to look into the into the coordination of the governance especially, and the delivery and standards. So that's why TVET Council is there. Another thing is actually, it's also TVET Council role is actually to work harder actually to improve the societal perspective on TVET. And that will require a lot of effort across the government, industry, and academia actually to raise the branding of TVET. So I think that's something that we need to work on. That's, I think, the utmost important thing that we need to focus on now. And from Talent Corp perspective, what we are working on together with MTVET, we believe that at the end of the day, if we are talking about TVET, we must approach it from sectoral base. So at the moment, of course, we are getting companies on board together with MTVET. But a more sustainable approach is to bring all these companies collectively from sector perspective, because, I mean, the sectoral players, the key players will know that what is needed by the sector is more sustainable compared to addressing the needs of individual companies. So it should be sectoral based. So this is where actually Talent Corp comes in. We are working closely with MTVET and other agencies. We have established a Future Skills Talent Council pilot with ENE. They are going to have the first meeting tomorrow. It's all driven by the companies themselves. We just facilitate. So there are already 12 companies on board, the major players up north especially in the NE sector. And then we have 4 skill development centers in the council also. We have PSDC, we have KISMAC, we have Johor Skills, and we have SAHRDC, Selangor Human Resource Development Corporation. And we also have agencies. We start it off with agencies under KESUMA. I'm not sure whether you're familiar that the new name of Kementerian Sumber Manusia now is KESUMA. So it's the new name. So under KESUMA, so we have all players in the ecosystem of TVET in MOHR together with us in the council. So that's one thing that we are driving. Another thing that we had launched together, and it was launched by the Right Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, was we have developed a platform called My Next TVET. This is for our TVET talent. They can come in, do their profiling. There are in total 6 profiling tools in My Next TVET, understanding where their strengths are, where their gaps are, and then they will be able actually to even secure internship placement on the platform. They can also have fulfillment. We have developed an LMS module where we are also working in tandem and in collaboration with HRD Corp, actually to ensure that the fulfillment of their gaps actually is also done through the platform. And finally, we are also bringing the industry for coaching and mentoring through the platform. So in short, that we are hoping that we can develop this platform as a one-stop platform for TVET students. They can come in and know themselves better and then do the fulfillment on the platform and potentially secure the internship and after that employment through the platform. Thanks, Michelle.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Just quick, so this platform, who is it accessible to? Aside from the TVET students, is it accessible
to for
MyNext,
there are 4 main stakeholders within the platform. The first one is, of course, the talent, the students. Second is the institution. So institution will be given a dashboard where you can go into the dashboard and then identify the analytics of your students. So that's for institutions. So the intervention become evidence-based intervention rather than one-size-fits-all that we normally do now. The third one is the industry, the companies. So companies can come in, potentially explore your potential interns in the platform, and you can also benefit from our double tax incentive if you hire your intern through this platform, because we have a program called National Structured Internship Program, or MySIP. Employers can get double tax incentive if you hire intern. All the allowances, you can set it off when you file your tax. And in addition to the allowance, you can also get double tax incentive on spending related to their transportation, accommodation, digital allowance, and also their development. And finally, it's for the government, because as a government agency, from government perspective, we have now an analytics of the whole TVET ecosystem. So we have the gaps. So what we are working now with within the TVET ecosystem is actually, My Next TVET will be because they are developing UP TVET now. If you are familiar with UPU, so in the academic route, you have a single platform called UPU where you come into the platform and apply for any institution that you want to go in. They are also developing UP TVET for all TVET institutions actually to coordinate the enrollment of students in TVET institutions. So we are working within this ecosystem. So they'll come in, do their profiling first, understand where their career inclination is, and then where their career profile is. Then they go and apply for the course that fit their profile, or at least match nearest to their profile. Okay. Yep.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you. One more point that you mentioned earlier was that in terms of public perception, and that in Germany the TVET is already, I think, very well established. And I would like to ask you, Mr. Landhäuser, taking Germany as an example, what key elements contribute to the success of Germany's TVET system, and what could Malaysia adopt from the German system to enhance our TVET programs here?
Well, yeah, you're right. The German TVET system is used as a role model for the whole world, and I think there's many reasons for that, but I think the most essential point is that it is a dual educational system. Why is that so important? Is because in the past we used to have always this problem where students, they go to schools, they go to universities, they hit the industrial partners, and we can't make use of them. They're far from reality, and I think this is where it really enhances not only the situation in the companies, but also for the students themselves, where they, in a parallel system, practically learn while they're also studying in the institutions. They learn really the skills which are needed in today's industries, and they keep on changing. So it's very essential that they are up to standard. And on the other side, what is also very essential for the students is that they get to know the environment in companies and they can decide whether they like what they see or not. And what helps a lot also in Germany is that students, sometimes they just try and error, right? And then after they've tried a certain job, said, that's not my cup of tea. So, and they change their mind and go in different directions. So it's very essential for the students, but also for the companies, that we also don't waste our time with students which actually don't want to do the job at the end of the day. So I think it's a very important key success factor that it is a dual educational system. What also makes it a very great success, so you mentioned that already, is the collaboration between the government, the institutions, and the industry. So it's very essential that it is also taught in the schools what is actually at the end of the day needed in the industry. And it's very essential that this is regularly updated, since the area is also, and the topics are constantly changing. And we just talked earlier about AI, which is now a new topic. So that's a very good example. This was not taught in institutions before, but in the companies we already working on AI. We are working also in all the topics around software and smart topics, smart production, smart manufacturing, all these kind of things. And this is where the collaboration is absolutely essential. And I can't agree more with what you said earlier. It cannot be company by company by company, because I can tell you I have different needs than most of the other companies, but it's my personal problem. So we need to solve it on a bigger scale, on a bigger level, where we look into several sectors together and we decide what is the key issues for the sectors themselves. And then later it's up to the companies to break it down further while the apprentices are in their companies. And another point is very clear quality apprenticeship, what I mentioned earlier. So it's not only that I can try and error, but also there is a lot of mentoring going on in the companies while the apprentices are there, where they can see, am I in the right direction or not, or what else do I need to do in order to be successful? It's not always that only the theoretical part is important. The practical part is as important as well. Yeah. Then, another point you mentioned, which is also very essential, is that it is certified. It clearly stands, the certification of TVET clearly stands for quality. So that also means all companies are able to rely on, if somebody has passed this educational program, they are capable in working in the industry. They are of a high skill and not only theoretical guys. Yeah, so it's this topic. And I think another very essential topic, which you also mentioned, is it is recognized within the German society, and that's a very, very essential topic. You mentioned clearly that it is here still seen as the second option. If somebody fails in the studies, okay, then they go for TVET. And I remember I had the same discussion with the Deputy Prime Minister, and I used a very lovely example. I just want to share it with you as well. You know, Singapore, they have this ITE, these technical colleges, right? And I'm not sure whether you know what the Singaporeans have been talking about, what this abbreviation stands for. They've been always joking about it. And I guess, since you don't know, I will share it with you. They always called it, it's the end. Because they believed, if you cannot become a doctor, a lawyer, whatsoever, okay, you have to go to ITE. So the point is then, once the government has taken care of that and has started to educate the public on the second option, which is as valid as going to university, is this technical route. And there it's very, very essential that an education is really happening, because at the end of the day, not everybody can become a lawyer, a doctor, and so on. Yeah, I mean, I would be scared if a guy who is better in technical skills is my doctor. I don't want to rely on such a person. So for me, it's very, very important. And Germany is a very good example on that, where the technical route is as well respected in society as any university graduation, and even more, if you are a technician and if you're a white-collar worker, usually the technician, they earn more money. That's also a very essential point, because of their high skill levels, because of their specialized area, and they know what they're talking about. So there's many, many more. you realize I could talk for hours, but I will stop here.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah, so-
if not, the DPM will come before we are done.
So we've established that one of the main points is, of course, the certification, but also the quality that then also leads to the public perception being very high in society and knowing that it's actually a good program and of quality. Some people in Malaysia may have a different perception of TVET, especially what you mentioned, that it's the end of TVET programs and institutions. But how can we improve the public perception of TVET? And what examples exactly of career pathways in TVET could change the perception, Mr. Solihin?
Thank you, Michelle. Now we have our industry representative talking about the way the industry expects it to be, how the perception is. We also have from the government sector, representing all the 12 ministries from the government side, which also represents the MTVET and also Talent Corp. I'd like to speak on behalf of how the next generation, the students, think, because we represent academia. And I do not speak on behalf of myself, I do not speak on behalf of GMI alone, German Malaysian Institute itself. But we have an ecosystem in MARA, which also includes UniKL, also includes GIAT MARA, KPTM, and so many others. Now, I'd like to bring back a flashback to the first encounter that I have had the opportunity when having a good some 2-3 hours of a breakfast meeting with His Excellency, the German ambassador at his residence some time back. The first instance when I met him and he introduced himself, I'm Dr. Peter Blomeyer, and I'm a TVET scholar. That completely changed my perception, and that really makes a big difference in the way how I wish that Malaysia has or have many of our successful leaders coming from the TVET line. Just imagine if we have a prime minister, or maybe a couple of our successful conglomerate heads of companies, CEOs, consortiums, that talks proudly to the public, I'm a product of TVET. I'm a professional TVET. That's what they call it in Germany. That's what I was told when the UniKL and MARA and also the chairman went to, and also the deputy prime minister himself, who actually went to Japan as well as also to China. The perception matters a lot. So now we are dealing with the younger generation. The gap between us, majority here, not many, there are 30s, I guess. Majority are 40s or probably 50s. Some are already 60s and 70s as well. So the gap with the generation that are in school, in institutions at the moment, very big. We need to put ourselves in their shoes and see how we can actually get them to feel that, hey, TVET is the thing. TVET is the future. TVET is the one that everybody should be talking about. So if we can have counselors in schools, yes, counselors in schools who really have good exposures, understanding on the different paths, different requirements, expectations, experience, exposures in the real world industries, then they can actually talk to the students from their own heart.
So
Yeah.
to already expose them
Exactly,
from a
which
school
means
stage
we
on.
need to build a handful of counselors in schools to have exposures in this. If majority of the counselors, which currently, to my understanding, practically talks about discipline, talks about social integration issues, talks about some family matters, that itself is not enough for the counselors to be able to give a good career path for the students to move forward and have a good understanding and picture. I was struggling myself personally when I was 16, 17 years old, trying to figure out what would I be, yeah? And when I graduated, I still have no clue. What should I be? Where will I be working? Even probably now also I'm still struggling, but I don't think so, the majority. But the fact remains is that the students, we need to put ourselves in the shoes of the students, try to have them feel that professional TVET is the way forward. Once they capture that, the mindset will clean up the current generation's mentality. We need to have a strong emphasis and programs and initiatives to get the current generation, the parents especially, to not continuously look at TVET as second option or the balance because they are not good at academics. That's not it. Now, we look also from the current generation, we talk about social media. Yeah, we have TikToks, we have all kinds of social medias which can really influence them. And they spend a lot of hours per day with all that. Now, we need to ramp up. I think some of the initiatives that the government has done, when I look into MARA, the Dato Wira Chairman himself, Dato Wira Azhar, the Director General of MARA, all the other universities around, they are already ramping up all kinds of promotions, all kinds of ways and methodologies how to win the hearts of the students. That carries a lot of weight in terms of social media. Now, the print, how do you say, the mainstream medias, the newspapers, which majority hardly read nowadays. Yeah, that also has to change. If we have a lot of, thank you to the arrival of the chairman of MARA here. Yeah, but I will continue with our dialogue here. So then we talk about the social media, we talk about the mainstream medias, we talk about the television, we talk about the different channels, and also perhaps even in YouTube, blast it out. Make sure that this generation captures it. At the same time, they will be able to also influence the current generation, which means their parents, the school teachers, the universities itself, the industries, yeah? Now, that is the second aspect. The third aspect, we also need to look in terms of the governmental sector. The perception of the public is that there are too many ministries that are involved, and everybody is sort of being perceived as if they want to flex their muscles. Everybody thinks that, I want to do this, but there is no coordination, there is no synchronization, and everybody starts to spend a lot of money all over the place. The effect is not that great. Yeah. Have it concerted, have it centralized, have it in one say, and everybody sing the same song.
So that we're working towards the same goal.
Exactly. Yeah. This is also another initiative. Now, from the industry side, there has been a lot of initiatives already. We talk about the internship of students, we talk about early employment, we talk about sending back for reskill and upskilling. Now, if we sit down together between the industry, the academics, with the support from the government and also the lawmakers, making sure that, yes, things are standardized, the curriculum, the requirements, expectations meets the needs of the industry itself, then we will be able to see the progress, the progress moving forward. Every industry is unique. You can never have a similarity much in terms of the needs between B. Brown and Infineon and Robert Bosch and Rexroth Bosch or many others. Yeah. Now, the industry, together with academia, should sit down together. The academics, the institutions, should not have a very thick wall. I think in Germany there's a famous phrase, they call it, it's the tall tower of thick walls, which means those that are sitting in the institutions, they come up with all their research and all kinds of papers and books, but it's not really mapping well to the needs of the industries. Out there, they are talking about IR 4.0, they are talking about AI. Of course, in the institutions, they also talk about it, but then the alignment is still far. So if we bend down ourselves, roll our sleeve, sit down together, talk, we should be able to find a way. And this is a good platform whereby we sit here together, we invite the industries, we invite the academias, we sit down together with the governmental sector, the lawmakers, have a say, have a clarity, then the inputs that we get now in March will be able to help the Deputy Prime Minister to establish the Malaysian blueprint, tailor-made for Malaysia. We cannot just simply pick up from Germany and put it here and expect it to fly. It doesn't work that way. There's a lot of uniqueness in each country. Singapore has its own requirement, Malaysia has its own requirement. Likewise also Germany, Korea, and also Japan. So that wraps up for your question, I hope. Yep.
Well, what impact do you think this alignment between industry, government, and institution will have on the public, on the perception for the public?
Significant, I would say. I would say significant, because we are the ones who will be talking about it, and we will continue to preach about this. We should not give up. We should not feel weakened with comments, especially from the netizens. They come up with all sarcastic, very negative remarks in all kinds of things. They are the keyboard masters. They know a lot, as if. But when we ask them what is best for moving forward, they have no clue. But these are the right people here that we have. These are the CEOs of the companies that has been around for tens of years, decades. We need a concerted effort from all parties.
Yes, Mr.
Allow me to add to
Please.
that. I can't agree more. The point is here, you're absolutely right. It needs to be aligned with the industry. All need to work hand in hand. And you mentioned something very essential, which is TikTok and all the other social medias, Facebook and whatever it is. I think what we also need to do is to be together noisy as we can, to get our voice out and tell the people, look, it's not only the government coming up with something fancy, crazy, which might not work, but the industry is fully supporting this topic. We are working all hand in hand together in order to make it a success. I think that's
Exactly.
what I want to add there.
To tie to what Klaus mentioned just now, I think we need to have a lot of stories. Because people relate to stories. Unfortunately, for technical people, you prefer to just do your work and, focus on that, right? I think that's something that we need to change. We need to highlight more successful technical people. We need to create stories, how actually TVET changed their life, for example, from zero to hero, for example. How actually coming into TVET route actually changed the whole family life, for example. That's something that we need to highlight more and more. Yesterday, I think, if you watch Majalah 3 on TV3, they highlighted a story about a lady cleaning up, scuba cleaner. Cleaning up the cruise ship in Penang is done by a lady. I think we need to have more. It's not just about a lady doing TVET job, but also how actually TVET actually raise the level of our life, achieve the life of these people. So I think we need to highlight more. And relating to what Mr. Solehin mentioned just now about going into school, and that's something that we are doing right now because we have gone into school now, Michelle.
In this regard,
Yeah.
To enhance the TVET in Malaysia, the roles of the TVET Council as well as Talent Corp, what are your plans and initiatives? Because you already start mentioning like going into schools and also highlighting the success stories. What is there in store? What is planned next?
So if you look at macro perspective, there's something already in pipeline. TVET Council is working on having a national TVET policy by June. So this is what they are working on now, hoping that by June we'll have a standardized framework so it cuts across. So we can still have 12 ministries managing TVET, but everyone actually works within the standard framework. So, and then I believe that this will synergize more collaboration across. So that's one thing. Second, on the delivery, if you remember the challenges that I mentioned just now on keeping up with, one is tech, the machines, equipments at this institution, as well as the competency of our instructors. So this is where actually they are also promoting 30-70 approach. So 30% in institution learning about the theory, and then 70% they could go straight to the industry and learn. So I believe that the curve of the industry is faster than the institution, of course, and is prevalent in every country. So to keep up with the curve, we cannot stay in the institution. We need to go to the industry. So I think they are working also on standardizing it to be 30-70. So, and relating to what Mr. Salim mentioned just now about school, this is the reason why Talent Corp now has gone into school to create that awareness, that early awareness. We have gone into institutions, into universities, into TVET institutions. Sometimes it's too late. The career awareness is not there. So we need to go earlier. So for example, our critical occupation list had shown that a lot of TVET jobs coming into the list, a lot of digital jobs coming into the list. So in 2021, for example, we have seen occupation like animation and gaming coming into the list. So if you go to any parents, if you ask parents here, if your kid telling you that they would like to do gaming, for example, I'm sure that there'll be some doubt in us. If you are doing gaming, then the thinking will be that, what lies in the future of our kids, right? So, but in fact, gaming is very huge now. So we are going early into school, working closely with MOE, first to create awareness among the counselors first, because students is far-reaching, too big a crowd or pool for us. So we are having this awareness program with career counselors, as well as the Muafakat. Muafakat means that the parent-teachers associations. So also to create awareness among the parents. So that's something that we are doing now, and we believe that within that pathway, it's not just academic, we are also inculcating TVET pathways into this, the thinking of the parents. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Because you mentioned also going into the industry is a very big focus, and from an industry perspective, how can TVET programs effectively bridge the skills gap to align with the specific industries and to meet the standards? And what strategies can enhance the relevance and impact of TVET in preparing a skilled workforce and a prepared workforce also?
Okay, first allow me to just say one
of
sentence
course.
about
Please.
your statement just now. I agree, and I'm a product of TVET. I have not mentioned that. Yeah, I'm sitting here today, and I have had also this journey where I didn't know what I wanted to do, and here I am as the MD of a big multinational company in Malaysia.
You're a product of ITE.
Not IT, but in Germany, a different program. So I was also hopeless in the local context. What I haven't shared yet is I'm married to a local, yeah? So there comes this Matzale approach and the local approach, and we had exactly the discussions you mentioned earlier. My wife said, my kids need to study, they need to become this and that and that. And I brought it to the extreme and said, I don't care what they want to do. They spend the majority of their life at the workplace, and I want them to do what they're passionate about. Whether it's being a car mechanic or a cleaner or whatever it is, doesn't matter to me, yeah? So, and therefore, I still believe, from my experience, the parents are the ones pushing their kids in a direction. We have to stop the parents always telling them, you need to study, you need to go to university, you need to become a lawyer, a doctor, and so on. This has to stop, because not everybody has a passion about that. Some people are passionate with their hands. So now, sorry, coming back to your question, what is it the industry needs? I think I mentioned that earlier. What is really, really essential, and it was already mentioned earlier, what we clearly need is a collaboration amongst all the different government bodies to stop playing Tai Chi, but to come together and to decide together with the industry, this is what all of us need, yeah? There is no personal interest. We have to put all our personal interests aside, including the industry. So, if I'm there, I'm a part of the council, I will not be there as Bosch per se. I will represent the overall industrial sector in order to get what we need, because what I said is very essential. The industry has to play a major, important part as well by then training what they need in particular for their company, yeah? And if you look at Bosch, we have so many different product areas and so many different technologies, you will never be able to cover that via TVET fully. So this is clearly the industry who needs to step up their game as well. So what I want is a clear, regular collaboration, and a very open collaboration between the industry, the institutions, as well as the government, in order to work out the best possible model for all. And especially what I believe we have to have is, we have to have a local concept. And I mentioned that also earlier. Don't you go there and try to copy and paste the German model. It will not work here. There is different requirements. We have totally other important requirements here in Malaysia which we need to cover, so we will have to tackle them separately. That's, and then another area which I believe would be very essential to bridge the gap between industry and government is that the industry is also part of the curriculum, how it works out to discuss all this. And what was not mentioned today yet is, if you look at the German concept, what I find very interesting, if you look at the final exams of this TVET program, who is sitting there and testing the students is also industrial leaders, specialists which are coming in and covering exactly some critical questions in order to figure out, have you learned what is required for your job in the future? So I think it's the overall package of collaboration and, as what I said before, getting rid of your own pride and look at the bigger picture and work all together on the big picture of TVET, which then will help the government, the society, as well as the industry.
Yeah. So looking at industry, academia collaborations, which you mentioned, probably there are many strategies that also TVET institutions could implement to enhance the students' readiness before they graduate, and also to drive this collaboration. How does the appointment of the Industry Advisory Council members in the institutions contribute to the TVET academia and also to this goal?
Thank you, Michelle. A couple of weeks back, I visited Sapura Energy Office. I met with the CEO, Mr. Nasri, and we had a short discussion with his team members who highlighted to us that they brought in a few interns. In fact, some of those are no longer interns. They are graduates and they become employees of Sapura Energy. The sad thing is that at the very, very initial stage, they don't even know how to use the calibration meters. So that is very saddening. Then, a couple of days later, I also visited Aerodyne. We have Mr. Kamarul here, who is the founder and also the CEO of Aerodyne, who has agreed to be an Industry Advisory Council member for GMI, which also will definitely benefit for the Malaysian TVET blueprint and the council itself. Now, Mr. Kamarul also mentioned about how lacking the students, even the graduates, in terms of general knowledge about the history, not even knowing some of the names of some of our prime ministers, our past prime ministers. That is very saddening. Now, but that is beside the point. Now, we are talking about the general knowledge. We are talking about practicalities. We cannot continue to produce students who are bookworms but not street smart. This is a killer factor. Parents continue to put pressure on their children. How many A's did you get? 7 A's, 10 A's, 13 A's, yeah? And if they get 9 A's and they get 1 B, for example, then the parents will continue to squeeze on why did you not get an A for that particular subject compared to the rest. They neglected the success stories of the students, of the children. Now, we are talking about the establishment of the IAC, of which then it's a collaboration between the academics, the industry, with the support also from the governmental sector, the lawmakers, to enable a new breed of generation that are not only book smart, but they are also street smart. They can think well and they can be creative. Not all our children, not all of us can capture or can understand a certain topic, certain subjects by just reading theories. Once you sit down, after listening the lecture, you have to go and touch and feel.
Learning
and
by doing.
Yeah. This is what we call, this is what the Germans categorize it as the GDVT, the German Dual Vocational Training Program. I personally met you on my first few weeks of helming the German Malaysian Institute, together with then Mr. Daniel Lundbeck. Now we have Dr. Eva together. And one of the key topics that we talk about is GDVT, yeah, whereby we spend 30% of the curriculum on theory. The remaining 70%, you touch, you feel the machine, the equipment, the facilities. Then the students can really capture. It sticks to their mind. They will really understand and they can see the practicalities and the logics behind it. We cannot just ask them to use up a certain formula and have no clue what this formula will end up producing. Yeah? When we have the IAC, we will have a varieties of different industries. We cover from oil and gas, the petroleum. We talk about drones. We talk about data transformation. We talk about CNC milling machine. We talk about AIs. We talk about electric vehicles.
Semiconductors.
Semiconductors, chips and all those stuff. So we have all range of them. Now, our students, the next generation, will need to have these exposures. If we have more of icons like Mr. Kamarul, a local, very successful, have a startup and being looked up to, if we continue to have that all over the country, the public perception would have already changed. Then, when they come to the institution, like GMI, maybe Uni KL, Giat Mara and all, with the rows of libraries of database of curriculums that we have, all we need to do is that we just select that particular module as the baseline. Call this industry, what would you like to have that is unique compared to the rest? We formulate it, add it to it, that becomes a new curriculum, specifically tailor-made, tailor-suit for the need of that particular industry or that company itself. That's how we should produce it. When we get the students out after the internship, they are ready for the world. That is the most effective way. Yeah? Doing that continuously, day after day, year after year, this perception about TVET being second-class, low-end courses, even the parents will have a different way of looking and perceiving it already then. Yeah?
But the base of the curriculum and standards should then be like standardized and uniform across, and that's where also the IAC contributes
exactly.
to that.
Beyond that also, we take a few other win-win situation. Yeah. For example, some companies, they want to display their machineries or their equipment, which is state-of-the-art, but they lack of space in their office or in their showrooms. Have it at the institution. Park it there. Have someone to guide the lecturers, the professors, getting to know how it works, produce the right curriculums. When student comes, guest comes, professors coming from different locations of the world, every corners of the world, when they look at it and they try to understand, and then we can have a series of short-term courses, which we can then have batches of employees to come to reskill and upskill their capabilities. Doing that itself will already promote the machineries from the respective companies. That is another approach. Another approach is by having the support from universities across the ocean, regardless whether it's from Germany or from many other locations. What we have done in the past is, take for example, slightly over a week before this, we have 20 presidents and rectors from German University of Applied Science visiting GMI. I believe we have some photos of it somewhere here. Yeah, they were here to look for collaborations, to look of ways how both parties can benefit from this. Yeah, and for the benefit of the students themselves. So whenever we have the opportunity of foreign university presidents, lecturers, professors coming to GMI, we will arrange with the international schools, with the public schools, to have their students coming over to GMI. Then they will get first-hand information from the horse's mouth, from the respective universities, be it whether they want to start their A-levels, whether they want to do their diplomas or degrees or master's, PhD. You can have direct contacts. And this will benefit in many areas. Yeah, GMI can benefit from it. The industries will benefit from it. The students will get first-hand information. Everybody will feel proud that we are part of the nation building. We are part of the next generation future leaders. Yeah, we have many other. Some could have been mentioned already. But these are some of the simple examples that we have. So the establishment of the IAC itself is just a starting point, but building up the next generation to become those that are much more competent and having more of our ambassadors coming from the TVET background, CEOs from TVET background. Yeah, these are the areas where then will help the whole process to spike up in a much faster speed.
Yeah, and to provide that platform for exchanges, please.
Allow me to take your point up of collaboration with universities abroad. I forgot to mention that earlier. Especially the industry loves that a lot, and it helps also a lot the students. Is why? Because we sponsor at the moment students from Malaysia doing this program in Germany for 1 or 2 years. The same in other countries as well. And we get into Malaysia also foreign students to do some apprenticeships here. We love the fact that we take them out of their comfort zone. We take them out of their mother's home and we dump them into a country they don't know, a different culture, everything else. And we give them proper projects and challenge them seriously. And what we, with that, can figure out is this a future employee of ours? Because we can then afterwards recommend back, if this student comes from UK, I can call Bosch UK and say, look guys, you should hire this person. This person is highly capable and flexible enough to work outside of the comfort zone. And it's the same we do with all the other students. We have regular exchange programs where we talk a lot also about these future employees of ours. And this helps also a lot to students. And just one more thing, because I've heard it so many times before, when we send students from Malaysia to Germany, our target is not that they will remain in Germany and will stay there forever. We want them to come back. We want them to bring back their idea of working in a German company. How does the German culture look like? How does, if you look at all our guidelines, and Bosch has tons of them because we are a big company, if you look at them, it's very essential that you understand the cultural background and that you understand what is written in between the lines. So you need to understand the German culture in order to be able to do so. This is what we see also as our future leaders here, where we bring them back and they have really a great career path.
I'd like to add a little bit more on that, because that is the very aspiration that the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister, as well as also the Chairman of MARA, Dato Wira, Dr. Ashraf Wajidi, has mentioned when we visited Berlin a couple of months back. One of the probable approach is that when the students are there in their final year, complete their internship, by then they will be recognized by the industries to have a potential to work with industries. If they, upon graduation, have the opportunity to work in these specific industries, the high skill level ones, they will not only retain their German language competence, they will also retain their commitment and mentality, the German mindset, punctuality, aspiration, and also their mental strength. They will get that exposure, they will get better income. That's the hope. Not to work as Grab drivers or to work in restaurants or supermarkets and all that. That's not what the intention of the government. But if they have that opportunity, by the time they are ripe enough, they have achieved a certain level of competence, they then will be able to come back and probably working with the same company with branches or subsidiaries established in Malaysia, bringing back the same culture so that then they can mold and build a new set of team and new members that are also having the same approach. That's what we call productivity. By then, they should also be able to then contribute back to the funds that was given to them for their further study allocations. Then the next generation will continue over and over again. That's the wish that we'd like to have. And that was what was mentioned. But then we have to make sure that this is well recorded, this is well monitored, so that then there's every single dollars and cents that is invested on that student is worth it.
And they also will bring a piece of our culture, the Malaysian culture, then into Germany.
Exactly,
you have the cultural
including
exchange.
durian and all the other stuff.
Yeah, that smoothens even
I'm
more.
not sure about
cooperation.
durian, but the rest.
Thank you very much for sharing your thoughts. Let's take a few minutes to address some questions from the audience.
Are you using the code?
The QR code, yeah. Yeah, so dear audience, dear guests, if you have questions, please feel free to scan the QR code. Otherwise, if there are no questions, that means that our discussion was very, very efficient and very informative already.
But we also accept direct questions, isn't it?
Yes, I think we do we have someone with a mic that could take maybe direct questions? Then from the audience, if someone would like to. Yes, that would be perfect.
All right, so we open to the floor. If you guys have any question, proceed to our panelists here. And also, I think there's some question in the slide also. So you may raise your hand and I'll go to you and see the question. So we have one gentleman here.
Good morning.
Morning.
Santi from Gajamove. As far as GMI's pathways to Germany, what are the various options available for students from not only Malaysia but across the region if they were to pursue diploma, degree, A-levels? This is what I understood from talking to some of the officials here. You have diploma, A-levels, and then German language with pathways to various universities or institutes in Germany. But in terms of attracting foreign students to Malaysia, what are the challenges being faced by GMI here, and what are the opportunities that you foresee in the future? Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Shantira, for the question. Yes, I will answer on behalf of GMI that when we talk about challenges, at the present moment, GMI is a technical institute that focuses very much on mechanical and electrical engineering. Our pathways, we start with school leavers, that goes with A-levels, and then eventually with diploma for further study to particularly Germany and also some other locations. Now, we are opening up our opportunities for students to also go beyond or to study beyond Germany itself. We are opening up also students that wishes to further their study to German-speaking countries. For example, we have Austria, we have Switzerland, Luxembourg, Liechtenstein, and a couple of others. We are also opening up potential students that wish to further their study to German universities, but using English as the medium language. Yeah, for those sponsored students, they are subject to the requirements of the respective sponsors. But for the public, they have all the options that's available. When we are talking about processing on the student visas applications and all that, that is a no-brainer. We have the expertise. We have been doing that for the last 31 years. We have been we were established in 1991. We began operation in 1992, and we have so far produced more than 15,000 graduates. Quite a number of the students are still in Germany, be it whether they are studying, whether they are pursuing their higher degrees in terms of masters and PhDs. Some are working, some even have established their own companies there. Yeah, quite a number are also back here in Malaysia. Some are scattered all over the world. Yeah. Now, when you ask the question about attracting foreign students, we may, at the present moment, have a small percentage of foreign students. We do have students from Yemen, from Saudi Arabia, from Myanmar, from Thailand, from Bangladesh, from Pakistan, a couple of others. Yeah, but the percentage is still small. Now, we are doing a lot of promotions, especially students who wishes to further study adopting German as the main language for the university, for the fact that the quite a number of the prominent universities in Germany are still adopting to German as the medium of language, communication language, as also the program courses. We are open to any new tie-ups. At the moment, we have also a good setup with a couple of other universities in Malaysia to establish our foundation programs, which includes University Technology Petronas. We also have with UMP, University Malaysia Pahang, and a couple of others. Now, I'd like to share a little bit also that in last December 2023, GMI has actually officially submitted our application to upgrade ourselves to become a college university of applied science. Yeah, that at high level application, the Ministry of Education has already endorsed, has already approved, but there's a long way of documentations, approvals, requirements that are needed for us to finalize the establishment. Now, having that will enable GMI to be able to open up and offer more different types of courses, not only the engineering courses, but also the non-engineering basis courses, moving from the engineering business management and also moving into accounting, finance, economics, and many others. Yeah. So I hope that answers the question. But I will take note of this. I will have one of my team members assigned to sit down with you as much as required for us to be able to support your needs and also a potential establishment of a partnership between GMI and your good organization. Thank you. I hope that answers your question.
All right, Michelle. So we have more question from the floor here.
Hi. I think this question would be more for Talent Corp. My name is Bernard Chuta. I'm with Tapio Management Advisory. We specialize in bringing companies to come and invest here and build factories and go ahead. And one of the situations that I think is very important is talent, which you are in charge of. And I totally believe what Mr. Klaus there said, you need to integrate the cultures together. This is extremely important. We're bringing companies here from Germany. And is Talent Corp maybe or has any plans to try and streamline the visa for interns to come to Malaysia, because it's extremely complicated and very difficult, and this is one of the reasons why a lot of them don't come. I'd say if 10 people apply, 6 of them will give up because of the visa. This is such a pity that we have so many European students who would love to come here, but they'll end up not coming because the visa is too much of a headache and it's very expensive.
Okay, thanks, Vernam. I mean, let's put it this way. The authority for all this visa is still Ministry of Home Affairs. So we have engaged with the like of EMGS from Ministry of Higher Education, and the same challenge was raised to us. We are in discussion with Ministry of Home Affairs how actually we can facilitate and ease the visa application for interns. Of course, the focus is more on employment, but I think it's equally important to bring a good mix of internship into the country, because we need that for, diversity, inclusion. So, if we can't send our students to Germany, for example, to get German exposure, we bring the German students in actually to mix with our local talent. Actually, then they will give some global insight and experience. So rest assured that we are working on that, Bernard. But on the approval side is beyond Talent Corp, I must say that. But we take note of your input and we raise it to Ministry of Home Affairs, definitely. Yep.
All right, another question here. So after this, we'll go to you.
Thank you for the presentation. My name is Tanse Reiner. I'm here for 25 years in Malaysia and very interested in dual training. And as a German, as myself was educated on dual training as well. So I heard listened to the whole presentation, but I was missing something. Nowadays, if you run a company successfully, it's not only the hardware orientation, the machinery and all this, but on top, the data management platform. So I make a categorically blunt statement. Without managing data, you cannot be successful anymore, full stop. So what does it mean? So I didn't listen to any of the presenters about automation. If you have hardware machinery, how about automation on top? How to run automation today? Data management. So you need data sensing. I've never heard anything about IoT models or whatever IoT connectivity or industry IoT missing today. How about data connectivity? Missing. So data connectivity, Wi-Fi 6 or industry 5G is now the best in class now, and on top, data management. So of course we can talk about cloud service and so on, the old terms, but data management of today for leading industries, like in Malaysia, we are missing here in GMI. So the question is how to want to make, as GMI, Malaysia successfully as an investment place and growing economy by yourself. You need to grow by yourself. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Tan Sri.
Maybe we come to another question. We combine two questions.
Okay.
Hello. Good morning. I'm Azita from Aerodyne. Actually, I'm a co-founder. Work hand in hand with Cik Amarul. Okay, actually, I want to start with by giving congratulations to this platform. I'm really impressed with the content and the sincerity of every panel speaking about the real challenge that we face. I'm from industry which very much involved with the selections of the employees and also building them to be, quality talents so that they can be, the guys who hates the company, the big companies. But I also would like to share, I totally agree, it has to go back much earlier to the schools and to the parents, because I'm also a parent. Okay, so this is something we need to go deeper. I believe with this effort we can actually achieve what we want to achieve in maybe mid-term, not a shorter term, but let's do it together. Okay, what I'm trying to say is that because of this mindset that we want to put TVET, to go into TVET is like a secondary option. So in a way you are already selecting your talents. When I filter all my people, we already see the grade A and the grade B talents from their qualifications. Okay, we need to change that. We want to see the grade A even from the technical side. So what I've seen is, people that can be developed actually already have the talent from very young age. So when they come to the company, it's easy for us to build them because you already have the basis and the right capability to start with. So as a company, we can't actually really spend much time to even change them. So we can open the training, we open a platform. Like myself, I always continuously spend time with them to make them see where they can go and what are the career options or opportunities that we have in Aerodyne. But at the end of the day, it's their capability and their motivation. Okay? So it's totally up to the students themselves. So where do we start changing that? We start changing by making every single one have to be motivated themselves. How to get motivated? So to make them see that the career path is very good for them. So where it start again? You go back to the house. You go back to the parents. You go back to the school. But we, again, as we industry players, I also want to touch back to even to the government, Talent Corp in this case, Encik Nazirul. I like to hear what your thoughts earlier. It's very, very much aligned with what we have been discussing all year long. But let's make this happen. I'm very, very grateful to have come to this session today and listen to all the great people out there talking on the same thing again that we actually facing. Thank you very much.
All right, so we can answer.
Okay, if I may take that question earlier, but before that, thank you, Ms. Azita, for your comment. And I feel that we have made the right choice, GMI has made the right choice by having Aerodyne as one of our Industry Advisory Council panel members, so that then you can advise us and give us more input and suggestions, feedbacks and curriculums of way forward for a betterment of the next generation. Now, to answer the third question just now from Tan Sri Rainier, we talk about 5G. Yes, in GMI, we have 14 active advanced technological centers. Yeah, among them, we talk about electric vehicles, we talk about cybersecurity, we talk about data, we talk about technology, we talk about telecommunication, and for that matter, we have also Ericsson from Sweden to be appointed as one of our Industry Advisory Council panel members. We have Ericsson representative here, which is the Chief Executive Officer of President and Country Manager of Ericsson Malaysia, as well as also for the as the Chairman of the Swedish Chamber of Commerce, also a board member of the European Chamber of Commerce. So with the expertise of Ericsson, I happened to be with Ericsson for the last 21 years before I joined GMI, yeah, many years back. We have the opportunity to send our students also to have a 3 solid modules of 5G and probably a split of 6G in their curriculum for good exposure. And that is beneficial not only for GMI students, but also for many other students from the ecosystems within the Mara education programs. Yeah. Now, when you talk about data, then obviously Aerodyne, being a DT3 organization that can offer data transformation and many others. Yeah. We are going to have a campus tour after lunch, which then will enable you to visit the various labs that we have. And we are not talking about GMI alone. There are many other institutions within the ecosystem of the Mara education programs that are also offering in this. But we are open to further discussions with more investments coming from Germany and many other countries that wishes to assist our ecosystem to have the latest state-of-the-art facilities and equipment. Thank you.
Allow me to add to that.
Yes.
Can you hear me? Yeah.
Yes.
Good. Okay. Thank you. So Tan Sri Raina is absolutely right, and I think this is why this council is set up, because there is no single company which shouldn't focus on AI, which shouldn't focus on data, and shouldn't focus on software and automation, and these are the future topics. If we don't take care of that, we're going to be at the losing end anyway. Yeah? So I think this is something we really, really need to focus on amongst many other areas as well to get it up and running, because without software, without data, we are nobody today anymore.
So the IAC also provides the platform for that and to build up on that.
Exactly.
Let's take another
Precisely.
question from, one more question from Slido, with a look at the time. So what could be done to encourage more industries to join the TVET programs, and also to encourage industry leaders to hire TVET graduates?
Okay, I think now this is me, Matsale, yeah? I'm as a German, you don't have to convince the industry, not at all, because they clearly see a benefit. What might be a challenge is that you need to educate the local industry, because we don't want to have only overseas industry, right? We want to have the locals particularly taking part of that. I think we need to run a separate program for the local industry to understand the benefits of TVET, that it is not only for the government, that it is not only for the students, but that the industry in particular will benefit a lot out of that as well, and will get future qualified employees. I think that's, for me, it's a no-brainer to join that. But as I said, maybe for some local companies, it might need some education.
I think to add on to what Klaus mentioned just now, I mean, we've been working with industry people across actively. And one of the feedback is sometimes industry would like to do more, to collaborate more with institution, but they are a little bit clueless of how, the how part. So I think hopefully when we establish the national TVET policy by June, we have an established framework to bring everyone together, synergize it so that we create a proper pathway for industry academia collaboration. So everyone is clear how actually they can contribute more. I mean, and at the moment it's done more at company and institution level. I think with that framework, we do hope that it's going to be at sectoral level where we bring all the sectors collectively and bring the value into the institutions. Yeah.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right, Michelle. So we go for maybe last question. I got interest about the TVET holder salary here. Maybe I can say I can I can read the question here.
Yes, please.
TVET holder salary benchmark in GMI compared to Germany, and also how about the salary that industry will offer? Government said minimum salary is 3K. Is it possible?
So talent will take this. Okay, fine.
I will chip in that. Yeah.
There's always a challenge because, I mean, it goes through the pipeline. So when TVET is considered as a secondary option, Puan Razita rightly mentioned that, I mean, you already demarcate the talent pool, A class, B class. So that also reflects on, of course, on the salary. So this is very unfair on technical talent, I would say that. So this is where also we need to raise up the level. And of course, putting it at 3,000 is a very noble and ambitious statement. It's a huge challenge for everyone here, including the industry, to put the salary at that level. But we need to ensure that we raise the technical competency level. And at Talent Corp, we see at macro level, if you really have the skill set, industry is willing actually to pay more.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Yeah.
I think that's a good point for industry to jump in as well on that, on the skill set.
So the point is, first of all, I mean, maybe you don't know fully the German model. So in Germany, already the apprentices, which are part of the TVET system, they already receive a salary from the industry, which is very essential. So it means it's not only a time I spend in a school, because you understood that there is a high percentage of the students also working at the companies. That means they already contribute to the companies, and that's why they're already receiving a salary when they start a TVET program, and it goes along the years, it keeps on also increasing. And as you rightly said, if the industry, they clearly see a benefit of somebody being well educated. Don't get me wrong, if I get a person today from a university, I need to train them for a long time. I need to get them to get used to my company, which is a German environment, or even more weird. But then also, once they have understood the company, they will understand also the technical structures and so on and so on and so on. Yeah, even though if you're sales, you still need to understand what is the backbone of it. So if I have a TVET person coming to me and I will have to hire them, I can expect that they bring all this know-how already along. That means I will save a lot of training time. So for me, there is no reason not to pay them a higher salary.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much for sharing. So it depends on the skill set and competencies, the experience that they bring as well. And we've had a very lively discussion on the TVET landscape, the challenges, the improvement strategies. And before we end our discussion, I would like to ask each of you, what are your hopes and aspirations for TVET in Malaysia, and how could the TVET blueprint contribute to those? So maybe we just go one round for each. Yeah.
So, okay, if I have to start. Generally, I have no hopes. I have expectations, very clearly. Because I'm done with hoping. I'm sure we can move this. I'm sure this is already the right step to collaborate together, to have this council up and running. And I'm very certain that we can come up with a model which contributes to the overall society of Malaysia.
Okay. We need to sort out this coordination and governance structure soonest. Else, 10 years forward, we are going to have this forum, we are going to discuss the same thing. And I was at a conference in Singapore last week, Linkin Asia Talent Connect conference. And the discussion was all about AI. And if you look at Singapore data, the change of skill set, 72% of skill change in Singapore. Job-wise, 67% job change in 2023. And we are discussing about our governance structure here. So I think we don't have much time actually, else we'll always play catch up. So that's my expectation.
Allow
And
the
of course,
industry
as
to
a government
challenge you.
agency, we will do it together with the industry and academia, of course with TVET Council. Yeah.
My view is Malaysia is on the right track. Is it clear?
Yes.
My view is that Malaysia is on the right track. The government is talking a lot about TVET. We see a lot of interest there. My dream is to have an ambassador who is a TVET scholar, a CEO which is a TVET scholar. Perhaps the Prime Minister is a TVET scholar, a Prime Minister of Malaysia, a TVET scholar. Then the whole platform of Malaysia will change. And TVET will be the preferred or the first choice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. So a big thanks to our panelists as well as our audience for your questions and contributions to our discussion session. With this, I would like to hand back to our MC to continue with the next points of the agenda.
All right, thank you, Michelle. That was indeed a fruitful session from all our panelists. To the audience, we thank you for your participation. And of course, thank you to our panelists on stage. Everyone, please give a round of applause once again, ladies and gentlemen. All right, ladies and gentlemen, to express our utmost gratitude to our esteemed speakers, we would like to present them with tokens of appreciation. Now, let's welcome Yang Berbahagia Dato Wira Dr. Ashraf Wajdi bin Dato Dusuki, Chairman of MARA, accompanied by Yang Berusaha Tuan Haji Ahmad Solihin bin Muhammad Yusof, Chief Executive Officer of the German Malaysian Institute, to the stage for the token presentation to our panelists and moderator. And now, firstly, we would like to call our moderator, the beautiful Miss Michelle Abu Bakar, Head of the German Dual Vocational Training Program Department at MGCC, to receive the token of appreciation. And next, we have Mr. Klaus Landhauser, Managing Director of Bosch Malaysia, to receive the token of appreciation. All right, thank you, Mr. Klaus. Lastly, we have Mr. Nazrul Aziz, Group Chief Strategy Officer of Talent Corp. All right, Dato, please remain on the stage because we have a speech from you after this. Thank you so much to the panelists and also to our moderator here. Ladies and gentlemen, we now proceed to the next segment, the highlight of this morning. To set a positive tone for our morning, let us warmly welcome Yang Berbahagia Dato Wira Dr. Ashraf Wajdi bin Dato Dusuki, the Chairman of Majlis Aman Rakyat, as he shares insight in his speech titled TVET Ecosystem in Malaysia. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me giving a warm welcome to the stage. And once again, giving a round of applause to Yang Berbahagia Dato Wira.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good morning and guten Morgen. I hope I pronounced it correctly. His Excellency Dr. Peter, Ambassador of the Federal Republic of Germany, Malaysia, Yang Bahagia Dato Seri Azhar, Director General of MARA, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I would like to welcome all the delegations, especially those coming from abroad. Welcome to Malaysia, and please enjoy our hospitality, Malaysian hospitality, and enjoy the beautiful scenery and, of course, the delicious food, inshallah. First of all, I would like to perhaps apologize for some amendments to our itinerary for today. Actually, the Honorable Deputy Prime Minister was asked to present a special motion in Parliament noon today. He is looking forward to come and meeting all of you, and he will definitely rush from the Parliament here to come here in a due time, inshallah. Let me start by saying that I'm very delightful and thankful to the organizer for inviting me to speak in this important occasion. Envision yourself on the cusp of a new era where the realms of education and industry converge in a symphony of innovation, setting the stage for a future ripe with endless possibilities. As we convene today at the Industry Advisory Council Summit, our roles transcend mere attendance. We are the vanguards of progress, charting a course into the unknown, drawing inspiration from the powerful German maxim, "Wo en Willis is wo en Weg." Where there is a will, there is always a way. We are reminded that our collective resolve and ambition light our path forward. This proverb, far from mere rhetoric, is the lantern guiding as we undertake the monumental task of reshaping technical and vocational education and training, TVET, in Malaysia, with a spirit of indomitable determination. I warmly welcome each of you, inviting you to unite in our quest to mold the future of education and industry. Together, armed with the latest insights, such as the growing demand for skilled technical workers, projected to increase by 60% globally by 2030. We are not just responding to the call of the present, but are laying the groundwork for the thriving economies for tomorrow. At MARA, our commitment transcends conventional education. We are sculptors of the future workforce, integrating the German philosophy of dual educational system, combining theory and practice for optimal learning. Our institutions, like the German Malaysian Institute, stand as beacons of excellence, blending technical prowess with innovative research to mold individuals who are not just job-ready, but pioneers of their industry. And for your information, the whole ecosystem of MARA education comprises of 344 institutions, out of which 270 institutions dedicated for TVET education, and GMI is one of them. Picture this. From the humble beginning of crafting skilled artisans to pioneering the future of vocational excellence, MARA has become a beacon of progress in the TVET cosmos. Within the vibrant ecosystem of MARA's institution, such as the German Malaysian Institute and the University Kuala Lumpur, lies a universe of diversity where each learner's potential is unlocked through tapestry of practical skills and advanced research. Imagine a realm where classrooms transcend traditional boundaries, evolving into hubs of creativity and innovation. Here, students and lecturers are not just participants, but also pioneers, venturing into uncharted territories of research and development. Their quest is supported by state-of-the-art facilities where ideas flourish and visions come to life. This narrative of blending academic pursuits with real-world applications extend far beyond our shores. Globally, the TVET movement echoes Mara philosophy, with countries like Germany and Japan leading the way. In Germany, their dual vocational training system, combining classroom learning with apprenticeship in industry, boasts a 92% employment rate for graduates. Similarly, Japan's focus on technical skills and integration with manufacturing giants like Toyota has positioned them as a global leader in innovation. It is very interesting, during our recent visit last 2 weeks in Japan, they don't call technical and vocational, but they regard all skills as professional. That's why they call TVET as professional and vocational education system. The global camaraderie in TVET underscores the universal quest for a workforce equipped for the 21st century. As the World Economic Forum report, by 2025, up to 50% of current jobs could be automated. Skills like critical thinking, problem solving, and adaptability will be crucial for the success. However, challenges remain. Developing countries often lack of resources to implement effective TVET programs, and some societies still hold stigmas towards vocational training, as we have listened to the panelists just now. Even in Malaysia, many parents still regard TVET as second class or for those dropouts. And we have to change this mindset, of course. Despite these hurdles, initiatives like the World Skills Competition and global partnerships between institutions are fostering collaboration and knowledge sharing. As UNESCO Director General Andre states, TVET is not a second choice. It is a strategic choice for the future of work. By embracing this approach, nations can empower their citizens and build resilient economies in an ever-changing world. As we navigate the ever-evolving demands of the global job market, Mara stands tall, a testament to the enduring power of vocational education. Our graduates, with an impressive employability rate of 92.5%, are the living proof of our success, ready to face the world's challenge with competence and confidence. Indeed, in this odyssey of learning and growth, Mara's TVET ecosystem is more than an educational model. It is a visionary force shaping the artisans of today into the innovators of tomorrow. This journey is far from over. It is a continuous quest for excellence, innovation, and collaboration, setting the stage for a future where every learner finds their place in the sun, contributing to a thriving, dynamic workforce. As we stand amidst the unfolding narrative of the 21st century, it beckons us to look beyond the horizon to the craftsmanship and excellence that has long defined German ethos. This is a clarion call for unity, a summons to industry, magnates, educational visionary, and policy architects to weave together our diverse strengths in a grand collaboration that not only propels our youth into meaningful careers, but also carves out a niche for our nation on a global stage of prosperity and innovation. Acknowledging the pillars of success in our collaborative endeavor is paramount. My deepest thanks My deepest thanks, of course, I would like to extend to Mara, whose pivotal role has been the cornerstone of our achievement. Additionally, the collaboration with Get Mara, UniKL, Mara Liner, and GMI has been very instrumental, each contributing uniquely and significantly as co-partners of this event. A special note of appreciation is reserved, of course, to GMI, whose generosity and hospitality in hosting this distinguished and meaningful ceremony have been extraordinary. We give a round of applause to GMI. Their collective efforts have not only enriched this event, but have also set a benchmark for future collaboration. This event is testament to our shared aspiration for a future where education and industry dance in seamless harmony. Together, with unwavering resolve and guided by the timeless wisdom that where there is a will, there is indeed a way. We embark on this journey to transform every challenge into a beacon of opportunity, lighting the path to a world where every individual can find their place, contribute their unique skills, and thrive in a global workforce. Again, I would like to welcome all the industry players to come and join hand with Mara, especially GMI and all our TVET institutes. This is the first initiative that we established the councils to make sure that our programs not only relevant, but also benefits to our future generation. With that, I thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Yang Berbahagia Dato' Ira Ashraf Wajdi bin Dato' Dusuki for the speech. And for your information, under TVET ecosystem under Mara, we also have a College Kemahiran Tinggi Mara, KKTM, Mara Japan Industrial Institute, MGII, and also Institute Kemahiran Mara, IKM. Ladies and gentlemen, as we transition to our next agenda, it is an honor to present the keynote address by Dr. Eva Langebach, the Deputy Executive Director and Head of the Corporate Services Department at the Malaysian German Chamber of Commerce and Industry, MGCC. Without further ado, it is my pleasure to invite Dr. Eva Langebach to share her insight in today's auspicious event. All right, and the topic of her speech is TVET Germany, the success story. And Dr. Eva, the stage is yours.
Thank you very much. Good morning, good morgen, and selamat pagi. On behalf of the Malaysian German Chamber of Commerce and Industry, it is of course an honor to welcome you all to today's Industry Summit. I would also like to send the regards of our former CEO, Daniel Bernbeck, who sadly left to South America already, but he is definitely with us in mind because he was very invested in dual vocational training in Malaysia as well. I would also like to welcome our Excellency, Dr. Peter Blomeyer, the Ambassador of the German Federal Republic in Malaysia, YB Dato Vira Dr. Ashraf Wajdi, the Chairman of the Majlis Amanah Rakyat Mara, then YB Dato Seri, the Director General of Mara, the top management of Mara, the appointed members also of the industry advisory councils, our industry partners and friends, the members of the media, and of course, dear ladies and gentlemen. MGCC has been a driver of dual vocational training in Malaysia since 2014, when we established the first dual vocational training with German standards in Malaysia here in the country. Combining, as we've heard already, 70% of practical tuition with 30% of theory, the program aims to inspire young Malaysians to become a driving part in the Malaysian workforce by offering, of course, a tailored training to the industry demands and a career path in the industry. On the national level, the German dual vocational training in Malaysia is linked to the Malaysian National Dual Training System and is coordinated by MGCC together with the Malaysian Department of Skills Development, JPK. In Kuala Lumpur, as you know, we collaborate strongly with the German Malaysian Institute as our chosen technical stool. Today, there are also a lot of training companies with us, for example, Bosch, Körber, and also B. Brown. So a big shout out to your support, especially in the continuous path to grow the Malaysian talents. The system of dual vocational training, as we've heard in the panel discussion already, is a success story for the German economy because it offers companies well-trained employees with extensive practical, theoretical, and also personal skills and the right cultural fit. But what made German dual vocational training so successful in the first place? Please join me on a short journey to the roots of German dual vocational training and its success factors. So I hope we see the presentation now. Okay, next slide, please. If you look at those numbers here, our members and also the trade statistic are a very strong testament to the strong bilateral ties between Malaysia and Germany. And Malaysia is still today the largest trading partner in the ASEAN of the German industry. Some of the members you see here are training companies and pioneers in dual vocational training in Malaysia. Next slide, please. As I mentioned already before, we are active in dual vocational training already since 2014. It has been a bit of a rocky road in the past, but I'm proud to say that today we train the future workforce, especially in mechatronics, together with our training companies and the training schools such as GMI. Is it enough to grow the future talents in Malaysia? No, of course not, but that's why we are all here today. Next slide, please. If we look at the history of German dual vocational training in Germany, the roots date actually back to the pre-industrial area, to the Middle Ages, when trade and craftsmen were still organized as guilds. And the guilds were the very first small organization actually crafting a system of apprenticeship where master professionals trained the future apprentices and passed along their knowledge along the way. You were only able to practice a craft or a trade if you were a member of the guild. So in a way that also foreshadows the later system of our German chambers, where all the companies, of course, then are a member. And later, during industrialization, we have additional organizations coming in, the training schools, providing a certain theory path, and later in the 60s, the state. Since 1961, Germany has a unified regulation for German dual vocational training, which combines the state, government support, of course, the technical schools, and the industry, and lays the strong groundwork, of course, for that particular framework. So, if we look at some of the statistics, TVET made in Germany in numbers, then you see already we have over 300 training professions in Germany, because we have to cater to a variety of industry demands. Not only mechatronics, but there's also logistics management, of course, and a lot of other professions. We have over 400 training companies. Why is the support so strong? Because usually for companies, it pays off already after the first year. The trainee is already well trained enough to contribute actively to the workforce in the company. And companies in Germany have a willingness to train because they know the system works. The best part, of course, is, and this is a strong selling point, of course, for any future talents, is that at least 75% of all the trainees in dual vocational training are being employed then by the company after passing successfully the examination. And we've heard already today, it is such an established path because even CEOs and experts have a dual vocational training. Not everyone studies engineering or chemistry. We've also heard that the magic formula is 70% practical tuition versus 30% theory. And we heard, of course, why that is so important. It doesn't make sense, of course, if you know the formula on paper, but you cannot apply that on the job, and you don't know how the machinery works. The other success factor, of course, is that we have a strong collaboration between all the three parties involved: the company, the school, and the trainees, and of course the government. Next slide, please. So to summarize the success factors, we have very strong state support, and this has been vital from the very beginning. The system is based on industry demand, and the companies are willing to train. As we heard from Bosch today, you don't have to convince a German company to train. They know the system works. They know they get qualified labor in the future. There is a very strong collaboration of all parties involved with a central approach. We have a uniform law and a quality control, which is very important. Because I've been asked a couple of times also, of course, whether standards can be lowered for the training to ensure that more people pass the examination. No. Why? Because it would not be in the interest of the industry. You have to meet certain standards, of course, to be able to get employed later on and know what you're doing. We have one central coordination body and not multiple ones. And you have a very strong career path, and some of the TVET graduates, after they, of course, successfully entered the workforce, might even realize they want to pursue a path into management. They might pursue an MBA in addition to that. It is certified, it is recognized, therefore the path still remains open for those that want to embark on it. So to borrow the phrase we heard from the panel discussion earlier, TVET is certainly not the end, but it is the beginning. So with that, I thank everyone, and I hope for good and successful collaborations in the future. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Eva Lagerberg, for the sharing and for the speech just now. All right, ladies and gentlemen, with that, we have concluded our first session. On behalf of GMI, we would like to invite you all for a campus tour segment that will highlight some of our best courses and the technology centers from all of our three departments, which is mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and the computer and information departments. Buses for the tour is provided and are waiting for you outside the hall. Thus, we would like to seek your kind cooperation to please make your way to the hall entrance. The campus tour will be followed by lunch in the hall before we anticipate the arrival of our VIP later. And now, thank you all.